Hey guys, I see that I have some viewers jumping on. I have a new mic, so can you guys hear me? Let me know if you can hear me. I have a new mic, so can you guys hear me? Cool. Okay. Let me know if you can hear me. Shh. Okay. All right. So, as you guys jump on, say hi. Let me know where you're tuning in from. Welcome to Thursdays with me, Bianca, owner and artist of Lotus Theory Designs. Hi, Linda and Naomi, Brittany, Deb, Gracie, Heather, and Jason. Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining me today. So, as I mentioned, my name is Bianca. I am the artist behind Lotus Theory Designs. I am also a brand ambassador for Dixie Belle Paint Company. And today I'm going to be working on an industrial finish on a vintage buffet. So let's see. This is what we are working on. Okay. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what I did to get to this point, and then we're going to take it from there. So this is what it looked like before. Okay. So that's the picture of what was posted. That's how I picked it up. The previous owner was gracious enough to get it sanded, the top at least, for me. So I was happy about that. And then this is just after some repairs. That whole skirt on the bottom needed to be repaired. This is after I added some raised stencil. So if you're wondering how I got to that point, that is I created a design using my Cricut vinyl cutter, and then I laid it down and used Dixie mud, which is a wood filler, raised stencil agent, etc. So that's what I used to get there. And then I slapped a coat of primer on it. This thing was a bleeder, you guys. Oh my goodness. And I still had some bleed through. So I ended up at that point thinking, some brick would look cool, right? So that's where you see the brick there. And then I put a coat of black over the entire piece. So that pretty much takes us up to this point. And then to give you a little bit of a vision, I also have some wheels that I want to put underneath. So again, I'm going for an industrial look. So just kind of imagine with these wheels on the bottom. Okay. So now that you're inside of my head, let me take a look at your comments and see if I have any questions. If you do have questions throughout this live broadcast, let me know. I'm here to answer them. And let me know, what do you guys think so far? What do you think about what I've done so far and where we're going? Good. I'm glad that you guys can hear me. Excellent. Okay, so a lot of familiar faces today. Thank you for joining me. So like I said, I started off with a coat of black, and that's Dixie Belle's Caviar. And my reason for doing this is because I knew that I wanted to have like a dark undertone to the entire piece. So I took it outside, I sprayed it with a coat of black. As you can see, I started to experiment down here with color, and I got about that far and I thought, you know what, I'm going to go a different route. So what I grabbed off the shelf, and I can't promise you that I'm going to be using these things, but I definitely have Caviar, of course. Okay. I have chocolate. Okay. I grabbed Barn Red off the shelf. So that was Rusty Nail, and it was kind of coming out a bit more corally than I wanted. So now I'm reaching for Barn Red. I don't know if I'll use this, but I have Colonel Mustard. Okay. I also grabbed some Fluff, which is just white. We'll see. There's a good chance I'm going to run to my shelf and get something else. I don't know what. I'm just kind of going with it, you guys, with you today. So all right, I'm just looking to see if there's any comments, and then I'm going to move forward. Yes, so Mary wants to know, are the bricks raised stencil? I don't think I said that. Yes, the bricks are raised stencil, and to do that, I used Dixie Belle mud. I just got the stencil from Michael's. Okay, and this is probably a better picture to show you what the mud looks like. So that's Dixie Belle mud in black. All right, here we go. So I know that, as I said, I wasn't really feeling, and let me move the camera down, actually. I'm going to bring you guys in closer. Bear with me here. Okay. Bear with me. Okay. So, like I said, I wasn't loving what was happening here. It's not bad. It's just not really what I had in my brain. So I already started with some paintbrushes. I'm just getting them out of the plastic bags that I tossed them into to keep them from getting dried out. And I think what I'm going to do is just do like a light dusting of Caviar over this. So my whole reason for actually not covering it before my live and showing you guys this step, make sure I can read your comments. Yes. Okay. Is because I wanted to show you. Sometimes we think that our artists have it all together, right? Sometimes we don't. Sometimes we experiment and we do some trial and error and then we go from there. So I'm going to cover this back up because it's just paint, okay? And I'm just going to do a light coating over it. And I'm just going to get it a little bit wet so that my paint glides a little bit smoother, okay? And I'm just covering it back up because I just didn't love the way that it was coming out. It's not really exactly what I had in mind. If you're wondering what I had in mind, I don't really know yet, but it wasn't this. Okay, I'm just keeping it wet so that my paint glides. I don't need a thick coat because the colors that you saw, they weren't thick. Okay. So again, my reason for showing you guys this part and not covering it up beforehand was really just to give you permission to experiment and let you know that it's okay to tinker and experiment and just have fun. And if you don't like it, just cover it up, okay? And you'll notice that as I'm doing this, I'm using like a crosshatch technique. So I'm starting by going one way, and then I'm taking my brush and going this way. This is going to help you to avoid brush strokes. Thank you, Stacy. Stacy says she knew it. Yes, absolutely. Art develops in the process. Yep, you got it. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't bad, Christy. It just wasn't exactly what I was going for. Okay, so because I covered that up, I'm going to wait for it to dry. I'm going to move this over, and I'm going to start on this end, okay? Can you guys see that okay? Okay, so let me grab chocolate. I showed you guys the paint colors earlier. I have Barn Red in my hand. Looks like I need to open it. I showed you guys this, I think, last week, but a nice trick to taking it off the paper is I use the lid to kind of pry it off. And it should just come right off, okay? So I'm going to start with these colors for now. I know that I don't want a lot of red, and I know that I might just keep it more focused on the brick. So I'm going to do, I guess, like a rough blend. Just make sure I have everything I need. All right. This is my rusty nail brush. I'm just going to use it for the red. And here we go. So I have Barn Red, okay? A little bit on the paintbrush. Okay, and I'm just going to start swirling it on there. And I'm also going to dab it on there. The reason for dabbing is because I want a rough texture. I'm not going for a seamless blend. Okay, I'm going for, I guess, what will look like a bit of a hot mess until it's done. Such is the case with all of my work. So now I have Caviar, okay? I'm just going to kind of swirly blend that in. And I also want to dull down that red. That red is hot. Okay. And also I had grabbed chocolate. So just a little bit on my brush. Okay, and I'm just going to put it randomly on there. Okay. And I'm just going in a swirling motion. The cool thing about this technique is that it's pretty easy. You know, I like techniques where I don't really have to use my brain a whole lot. If I am thinking too hard, then I'm not having fun. Okay, so I'm just kind of stipling back in some of the black there. Again, I'm wanting to go for some texture. Yep, that's definitely better. So I like this better than what was happening on the other side with the blue. Oops, I lost my microphone. Hold on. Okay. So I'm just going to kind of work my way up. Not going to be shy about adding some of that black back in. You guys are wondering what I'm using here, just some plates that I have paint on. Okay. Kind of a messy, mindless way to paint. So I have a little bit of the red paint. This is Barn Red on my brush. And I'm just going to lightly swirl around the brick. Do you see how that picked up the brick and really made the detail pop? And also notice how that black base is still poking through. That's why I started with a coat of black on the base. Just looking at your comments, guys. Hello, everybody. Yeah, I know, Christy, it does look blue. I promise it's black. It's my lighting and it's my camera. Things take on a cooler tone here, so. Okay. So I'm going to keep moving and I'm going to start working my way up and just see what I get, okay? So I'm just alternating between the three colors. If you're just jumping on, I'm using Caviar. Okay, I'm using chocolate. And I'm also using Barn Red. That's what you see here. I'm doing a rough blend. My brushes are dry. I probably should have told you that. So I did not start with wet brushes. I'm using minimal water, if any. And I want the textured look. Get one of these wipes out. Black paint all over my finger. Hi, Leah. Leah, you guys, I don't know if you watched Leah's live the other day, but I jumped on and she was getting ready to, she was showing us how to prep a pre-existing painted buffet, and it looked like it was going really well until she got a tornado warning. So we are glad that you're safe, Leah. Glad that you made it. Again, I'm just adding some of the black in because I don't want that red to be so vivid and bold. I really just want a little bit of highlights, okay? So what would happen? And I grabbed my Barn Red brush, and I didn't even dip it in the paint just now, okay? I'm using the existing paint that's on the brush. Yes, Sue wants to know, is the base Caviar? And the answer is yes, the base is Caviar. Okay. Bring back some of the black here for a little bit of, I guess, framing. And I'm just going to keep alternating. I'm just going to keep going in hopes that I come out with something awesome. And I'm doing this pretty quick. One thing I love about, so I'm using Dixie Belle brushes right now. Okay, I'm using their synthetic brushes. One thing I like about the Dixie Belle brushes is that they can take the abuse. I mean, I'm pounding, I'm, doing all of this. And when I've used other brushes that were not quite as built nice, this whole end would start to kind of fray out like a toothbrush that's been used for like 9 months. And yeah, and then that makes them, kind of renders them unusable again. So that's one thing I do like about the Dixie Belle brushes, that they can withstand the abuse. Okay, so again, tiny amounts of paint. I'm really letting that undercoat of black show through. Okay, and I'm alternating the colors. Let's add a little bit there. Okay. A little bit more black in that mix. Again, I just have my plates down here with a little bit of paint on them. And I'm also gonna, let me see if I can get just a little bit of paint on here. Let me go over this brick. So I'm just kind of lightly feathering. I'm not really applying any pressure, just lightly feathering over the brick here in the Caviar, the black, to tone down some of the red, but also to give that brick some dimension. Let me bring you in a little bit closer. Let's see if my camera will reach. Okay. So do you see the texture? And that's because I didn't like glob on a whole bunch of paint and slather it on. I put a tiny amount of paint on my brushes and I lightly went over it, and that's what's making that detail pop. Hello, everybody. Thanks. Bet always shares. Sharing is caring. Thank you so much, Bet. Yes, the buffet is in Caviar. I don't know where that comment went. I may have answered that already. Hold on. Yeah, see, you guys, right. Dixie Belle. The lighting is given in a blue tint. I promise that this is black. Thank you, Chris. I appreciate your support. The brick was not on the piece already. The brick is raised stenciling, okay? So check it out. This is what it looked like before, okay? All right, so I think I'm gonna be bold and daring here and introduce some of the fluff, and that's a white color, and I don't know why that wants to have a lean like that. We'll just go with it, I guess. Where's my fluff? Okay, so I also grabbed fluff. I knew that I'm probably gonna want some highlights in part, okay? Let's just see what happens. So I'm grabbing a new plate. I'm grabbing a new brush. Karen, it looks hard. Karen says it looks hard. It's not hard to me, I guess. Okay, so I'm just putting a little bit of the fluff onto my brush, and I'm kind of just wiping it in and wiping away the excess. I don't want globs of paint, okay? Notice how, because I did not put a whole bunch of paint on my brush, that it's going on in a nice dry brushed effect, okay? And I'm using a swirling motion. Karen, if you think that this looks hard, next week I'm gonna do something much simpler, so stay tuned, okay? I have a couple of nightstands, and I'm gonna show you guys how to get an easy aged look with only 2 colors. So I added some white in there, and now I'm gonna add in some of my other colors. So again, barn red. Okay, just kind of framing it in there. Put a little bit more on my brush here. Get rid of some of the excess. There we go. It's a little bit better. Okay, and we have chocolate. I'm going to put some of that on my brush. Get some of that excess off. And then I'm going to come back and I'm going to hit it with the black. Okay. I'm not going to go too far up with you guys today because I'm not sure. I have a feeling I'm going to end up adding something here, something unique and different, or at least unique to what's on the rest of the buffet. So I don't think I'm going to touch that drawer just yet. I still need to make that design decision. Okay, and I'm just kind of blending in. It's okay if you got to jump back to your other colors. So like right now, I just jumped back to the white, which is Fluff. And I'm just going to keep going until it does what I want it to. Add in some more black. So again, I'm just using a swirling motion, dry brushes, and I am ending up with a, I guess, you know, grungy industrial effect. What's nice about the black is that I can go over the details with a drier brush. So as I go, more and more paint comes off of my brush. And then I can take that brush when it's almost dry and go over some of the bright patches, and it just kind of dulls it down just a little bit. Okay? So what do you guys think so far? I'm going to take a sec and check your comments, and then we'll move on to a different section. Thank you, Heather. Thank you, Deborah. Oh, no, Naomi. I know certain parts of the world, you know, unfortunately, certain products, such as the patina, and I think maybe white lightning, you know, they just can't get to you guys. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to hear that. Thanks, Debbie. Thank you. Tammy. Am I keeping you guys from being productive? All right. So I want to go over, at the very least, this section. So at the beginning of this video, I went over this in black again. And I did that because I just didn't like what I had started to do. Well, I liked it. I just didn't like it for this piece. And so I'm going to go over this part because I really want to, again, put the focus on kind of what I did down here, which is bringing the details back out of your raised stencil effect. Becky wants to know, what did you use to create the raised stencil? You know, if my knees weren't so bad, I'd get up and show it to you. But it's called Dixie Mud, and you can use it as a raised stencil agent. So I just laid down the stencil, smeared a bit of the mud on it, took the stencil away, and then washed it. And then once it was dry, I just gave it a sanding with a finer grit sandpaper to smooth it down so that I didn't have any sharp edges. Very, very easy. That's not a bad idea. You know, I did think about some metallics, so I might be accenting in metallics later. I haven't really gotten that far, but I like the way you think, Stacy. Okay. So let's continue to take our rough blend this way. Bring all my stuff a little bit closer. All right, here we go. So we have black. I'm just kind of putting some on there, really just to kind of get it wet so I have something to work with. Even, you know, probably wondering, why is she painting over the black with black? I'm just getting it wet. Okay, let's throw in a little bit of chocolate. And let's jump to the barn red. There we go. I wanted less paint on my brush. So again, over the raised stenciling, I'm not pushing my brush in. Okay, I'm just lightly going over it. Because my reason for doing this is I want the black inside of the cracks and inside of the detail to stay black. I want my bricks to have some dimension. I want it to be obvious when you look at it that it is raised up and textured. Okay. Again, just lightly going over those details. Back to my black. And again, I'm just using the paint that's on the plate. If you'll notice, you guys, this is not really taking that much paint. I think what took the most paint really was just getting the base coat down in the Caviar, especially because I sprayed it. Sprayers do take a little bit more paint than hand brushing, but I mean, you could get away with this look for just this part with the 8-ounce jar. So you don't have to invest in a whole lot of paint to get it to look like this, which is nice. I'm barely using any. Okay. And I'm going to keep going. Kind of alternating between these 3 colors. Again, if you're new, I am using Caviar, Chocolate, and Barn Red. Up here, I did use Fluff. That's the white that you see there. I know that I'm going to want more white up here rather than down here. So just for now, down here, I'm focusing on the 3 colors that I just said, which is Caviar, Chocolate, and Barn Red. I'm going in a swirling motion. I am dabbing the paint on. Sometimes I go back and forth. I might take my brush and go over the edges like this. It's really it's easy in the sense that you don't really need to think that hard. Just go with it. And I'm getting all kinds of textures, rather it just being like a smooth finish. Let me take a look at your comments. Oh, cool. The Milky Way. Well, okay. Any questions, you guys? I keep stopping to look at your comments. I don't want to miss any questions, you guys. If I do miss any questions that you have, I do apologize. They say moms have eyes in the back of their head, but clearly I do not. So I'm just using existing paint on my brush, okay? I'm just kind of working my way up, using the red over the brick. I really like the red on the brick. I'll just do a little bit more, and then I think we'll be good. I think you guys will get the point. So I'm not sure if I'm going to do some kind of patina or some type of metallic. What do you guys think? Do you think that if you can see it, if you can somehow get the vision, what do you think? Should I try patina, which is going to be more of a, well, it depends. I did grab this off the shelf. Again, it's going to look a little bit more blue on the screen. I really wish my lighting wasn't weird like that, but this is a mermaid tail tree frog green mix. So I could do a little bit of patina in paint. I can use the patina line, which will give me different effects. What do you guys think? Or I can use some gold. I can use some silver. What do you guys think? And I am sweating. Whew. This is a workout for the arm. But boy, is it worth it. And again, I'm just going over the brick. that I put down the red first. I'm going over it in black because I'm just trying to dull that red down a bit. I don't want it so hot. All right. So what do you guys think? I think that I think this is a good starting point. There are it's coming along. I think once I get the finish on the whole piece, it's going to make a whole lot more sense. But I am liking it. I'm liking how it's coming out so far. So what do you guys think? Let me just move this stuff so I can get back up on my stool. I have a numb leg. So hopefully I can get up without making you guys laugh at my expense. All right. Yep, leg is numb. Here we go. I'm up. Oh my gosh, I'm caught. Okay. Okay. We'll just get out of the way here. So again, I'm going for an industrial look. Let me grab the wheels and show you now that you're starting to kind of see it come together, what the wheels are going to look like. So I already went ahead and underneath, I did like a build out to support the wheels. So they just attach like that. That's what they look like up close. And there we go. So imagine that. I don't know what I'm going to do with the top yet. I know that it's going to be stain. There's a good chance I will, hoo-wee, girl is sweating. There's a good chance that I will use, I don't know what I'm going to use, but I think I'm going to use some of the Dixie Belle's red no pain gel stain in there. I don't think the whole thing will be red, but I do think I'll use some of that, maybe some of the black. I don't know. I might blend the stain. We'll see. All right, so I just want to look and see what you guys were saying about just metallic. I think you're right, Stacy. Stacy says that if I use patina, it's going to change the concept. Yes. Yes, Bonnie, exactly. It's exactly what I was going for. As I was coming with a vision, I was thinking like firehouse and fireplace and fire. Ooh, very cool, Chris. Thank you. Yeah, Aaron. Thank you. Okay, so I think that we get the point. You guys, thank you so much. I'm getting a lot of good feedback from you guys. That's a good idea. Make it look stainless. That's a nice thought. The top, she's talking about the top. That would be cool, actually. I like that idea. Okay, I don't know what I'm going to do, but I've gotten this far. So imagine this look. Camera is like got a mind of its own today. Okay, coming all the way up. It's going to be on the sides. I didn't even show you the side. There's more brick on the side here. Okay, and we'll see. We'll see what happens. Okay, so if you guys don't have any other questions, I'm going to let you go. Some of you need to get back to work. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I will be back next Thursday, 3 o'clock Eastern, 12 o'clock Mountain Standard Time. I did say that next week I have a couple of nightstands that were at one point a vanity and they got cut down and, reshaped to be two nightstands. So I know that I'm going to do something simple on there. So if you're, kind of lost or you want just to kind of get some more basic information, join me then. That'll be next Thursday. Thank you guys so much for watching and I'll see you then. Bye.